Jesus cried and said, now listen to what this is. He cried out and he said, he that believeth on me, and believeth on me, but on him that sent me, but not on me, but on him that sent me, and he that seeth me, seeth him that sent me. Jesus said, when you believe on me and you trust me, you're not only seeing me, but you're seeing the very one God who sent me, my Father. And you believe on him. Ain't that wonderful? The God of the universe.
Amen.
He said, I am coming. He said, I am coming light into the world. Whatsoever believeth on me should not abide in darkness. I was in darkness one time and something happened. Last Sunday in June 1985, something happened. The darkness went away and Jesus became light. Amen? Did that happen to you? Amen?
Yeah.
And if any man hear my words and believe not, I judge him not. For I came not to judge the world, but to save the world.
That's right.
Ain't that amazing? God said, I came that you might have life and have it more abundantly. My goodness. He said, I came to save the world, not to judge the world. You dirty, rotten sinner, Robert Ferguson. That's not what he come for. He already knew what Robert was before he got here. He came that Robert might have life and have it more abundantly.
Amen.
Amen. You dirty, rotten sinner, Ron Roach, you're a dirty, rotten sinner, and I come to save you. No, he already knew what I was. He said, I'm coming, Ron, that you might have life and that you might have it more abundantly.
Amen.
Just believe on me and trust me.
Amen.
Amen. Jesus had, one of my, another favorite scripture, and I don't hardly ever mention this, and sometimes I think about it. Remember where they brought the prostitute before Jesus and they threw her down in front of him? And they said, Lord, she was caught in the act of adultery. Now watch how awful this adultery was. These were the Pharisees, the religious rulers. She was a temple prostitute.
Wow.
Inside the church. So she had been caught in the very act of adultery, and by the law, we are to stone her. And Jesus looked at them, and he stood down in the sand, he started writing. He looked up, he got up, he looked at them, he said, ye without sin among her, cast the first stone at her. Now, this woman just knew, okay, now see, that every one of these men I've been with. And it was in the church. And now I'm before the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and I'm fitting to show enough, I'm fitting to get it now. And then Jesus stooped down and started writing in the sand again. And as he wrote in the sand, they all began to leave one by one, by one, by one, by one, by one. And he looks up. He said, woman, where are thy accusers? She says, Lord, I don't know. First thing she said was, Lord. She said, Lord, I don't know. He said, I accuse you neither. Go and sin no more.
Amen.
Go and sin no more. Now, he already knew the law. He already knew who she was. He already knew what she had done. He didn't come here to condemn her. He came to save her. And she did get saved.
Amen.
Amen.
Now, I think that was Mary Magdalene. Now, watch this. Watch this. What's so beautiful about that is he said, go and sin no more. But you know what I believe he wrote in the sand? It doesn't say what he wrote in the sand. My pastor said this, and I saw him stuck with me. I believe that everybody that was standing around, he began to write their name and their sins. Mm-hmm. And they got looking down. They think, wait, whoa. Race that.
Got stoned right out of there.
Boy, they said, man, they started backing up one by one. They knew. See, he said, I came that you might have life and the light and have it more abundantly. I didn't come to judge you. I came that you might have life. He said, there's one that's going to judge you, and it ain't me. Mm-hmm. Watch what he says. He that rejecteth me and receiveth not my words as one that judgeth him. The word that I have spoken, the same shall judge him in the last day. For I have not spoken of myself, but the Father which has sent me. He gave me a commandment, what should I say and what I should speak. God told you, he said, here's what you say, son, and here's what you speak, and not another word past that. And I promise you, he was God's son, and that's exactly what he did. And he said, I know that this commandment is life everlasting. Whosoever I speak, therefore, even as the Father said unto me, so I speak. Come on, Sister Sandy. Jesus said, I'm the light of the world. And he said, I speak those words that you might understand. And the words that I speak, he said, I didn't come to speak of me, but I came and spoke of him that sent me. And he's the one that's going to judge, not me. Because Jesus said, I didn't come to do this. Here's what I came for. God gave me a commandment. And that commandment is that you might have everlasting life. That's what he came for. And people don't seem to understand that or grasp that concept that Christ came that you might have life and have it more abundantly.
Amen.
See, me and you could have been as that woman, that temple prostitute, cast down at his feet, covered in sin and filth and degradation and everything else. And Jesus said, and the world pointed finger said, I remember when Robert Ferguson, I remember when Robbie Amick, I remember when Malcolm Davis, I remember when Sandy Rhodes, I remember, and they point fingers. And I remember when, and I remember when, and I remember when. But let me tell you, here's what I remember. I remember when Jesus came into my heart.
That's right. Amen.
Matter of fact, I told my mom one time, I said, Mama, I'm not that same man I used to be. I said, Jesus saved me, Mama. He came into my heart today. And I knew it that day. I knew it. And I've seen it in the lives of so many throughout the years where Jesus changed that life, that heart, that soul, that spirit. He changed it. And you could see the life of Christ, the difference in that person. Amen. So many people. Go ahead, Miss Sandy. So many people. But people want to play with God. I don't understand. And they don't want to listen. I thank God for the old saints that I've known throughout the years that had enough God in them to tell me I was a sinner. To tell me what I was doing was wrong and that, Ronnie, you need to get it right, son. Jesus loves you. He wants to save you. He'll save you right where you are. He'll come to you. All you got to do is ask Him. And I remember praying a sinner's prayer and Jesus coming into my heart. I remember that day. And He does that for every man, woman, boy, and girl who will trust Him. Because that's all He wants you to do is trust Him, believe Him, and watch what He does. Watch what He does. I've prayed with prostitutes. I've prayed with homosexuals. I've prayed with blacks. I've prayed with whites. I've prayed with Hispanics. I've prayed with everybody I know. And I mean, I've seen people get saved. Get saved. I remember a boy in Georgia one time. This one sticks out in my mind because I'll tell you why. I was driving a concrete truck, and the boy's name was Steve. He was in the military. He was a little bit older than me. I think he was a Vietnam vet. He was a cop, an ex-cop. And some tragedy happened, and he came to work one day. It was pouring down rain, and we couldn't drive that day, and we were waiting in the driver's room to see what they was going to do. And I went out to check. I ran out in the rain to check something with my truck, and he come running behind me, pouring down rain, tears streaming down his face. He said, Ronnie, please pray with me. I want to get saved. And he knew church. He'd been to church. Right there in the mud beside that concrete truck, pouring down rain, that red Georgia clay. I said, let's bow down right here. And we said it, rain pouring down our face. We said the sinner's prayer. And that boy got saved. I'm telling you, God is good.
Amen.
Amen. God is good. If you just trust Jesus, just trust Him. If you're already saved and you have trust issues, trust Him. Trust Him. Would you stand with me back?